Hey everyone, Ronan here, and welcome back to the channel. We got a lot of things to cover in this massive part that is the official start of the Season 2 of What If Ash won the Hoenn League. But before we get into that, we got a couple of things we got to do as usual. First, shout out to the Patreon, Dino King, thank you very much for the support. And also, everyone, analytics are very important, so please don't forget to drop a like and a comment to help fuel the algorithm so we can get to a bigger audience in 2024. Also, if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so that way you'll never miss another upload from the channel. But with all that being said, let's get into What If Ash Won the Hoenn League, Part 10. I hope you enjoy. We begin this part the night before the liliycove Super Contest. It's been 2 days since Ash's battle with Tyson. While the rival had moved on to the site of his next gym battle, Ash and May have been in full swing with their final preparations for the contest that is happening over the next 2 days. Since many other trainers and coordinators have shown up to take part in the festivities, this includes the likes of Drew, Grace, Janet, Timmy, as well as a few newcomers in the form of coordinators known as Robert and Kelly. However, that's not the only surprise that the two get, as May is busy with the teasing of Harley and the praises of Grace. Ash has had his hands full with another one of his rivals, the stubborn boy known as Morrison. The redhead has come to the liliycove for 2 reasons. 1, to take part in the contest, and 2, to get a boat to the eastern half of the region so that way he can earn more badges, as he only has 2 to date. But that hasn't stopped him from battling with Ash on a contest basis over the last 2 days, trying to get ready for the tough contest that he plans to enter. This leads us to the battle that the two are currently in, as Morrison and his Steelix that he has been somewhat able to tame are battling with Ash and Mawile. While this is a bit of a somber moment, as Mawile used to be Steelix's boss back in their days of the Valley of the Steel. But now they stand as equals, and this currently is Morrison's strongest mon, now that Steelix will obey his commands somewhat. However, just because Morrison has power doesn't mean he is on the same level as Ash, as it's demonstrated here when Ash and Mawile are able to evade everything the two rivals throw at them. Mawile's use of its sandstorm and its new sand whip proved to be the difference maker, as it uses the sand as a shield and a form of attacks to push back the steel snake. While normally a sandstorm wouldn't hurt Steelix, the more focused pushes of it are able to strike the steel type for super effective damage, dropping it as a result. Morrison hangs his head as he recalls the Steelix. Man, just when I thought we were finally able to win any battle we come across, the boy says. Well, don't feel bad. Me and Mawile have only been on the same page for a few weeks. I had to get over the barrier of wanting to do everything the way I thought things should be done before we were finally able to begin to grow, Ash responds. This makes the redhead sigh, as he wants it to happen now. They have been training non-stop, so it's frustrating that they still haven't synced. But I guess I'll have to wait and continue to work at it, Morrison says as Ash laughs. However, this moment of fun is interrupted when their attention is drawn to the other Pokemon of the trainers. While most of them have been playing with each other, there is one that is off training. Grovyle, the eternal loner, is standing before a mighty tree. While it appears to be training, the truth is the gecko is trying to find itself. The other day, watching Vigoroth, a Pokemon that was weaker than your average Pokemon, gained the ability to take on multiple Pokemon like the one in their double battles and the match them in power, has the grass type doubting itself, and most of all, its strength. This is demonstrated when Grovyle attempts to charge a Fury Cutter and slash at the tree, only for its arm blades to go from a weak glow to none at all. This causes the gecko to slam its arm into the mighty trunk, forcing it to let out a combination cry of pain and frustration. This is what stopped the two boys from laughing as Morrison asks what's going on with the starter. Ash says he doesn't know. Ever since it evolved, the two have been growing further and further apart. It's gotten to the point that it started ignoring my orders in battle. Well, at least I'm not the only one that still has some room for growth with their Pokemon, the boy says, as Ash just looks at Grovyle, sulking in what is starting to become its own self-loathing. This leads us to the morning of day 1 for the contest. Ash and May are heading to the contest hall, but stop when May asks if Max and Brock are coming. While Max was planning to join his sister to cheer her on as they begin talking again, Brock says he's going to stay behind. Torkoal isn't feeling well and he wants to monitor it closely as he thinks it may have come down with something, so he will need to be by its side. This statement causes Max to change his mind, telling May that he is going to stay with Brock as he may need help with Torkoal if it worsens. While May is sad that he won't be attending, she understands that this is more important, so she tells Max not to get in the way. He nods as he waves his sister off before turning to Brock. Is it the Pokeblock? Max asks. This leads us to the contest hall. May and Ash have just entered, only to be caught off guard by the grandeur of the place. With it full of contestants and fans, the pressure of the situation has begun to set in. The two head to the registration desk to enter their respective contests. Ash has decided that the first contest he will be entering is going to be the Smart class, while May has decided to enter something a little bit more akin to her traveling partner in the Tough class. This forces the two to split up in registration, only for Ash to enter in the line that has some old familiar faces. His rival Morrison, and more importantly Drew, are here. Morrison is happy to see Ash, as he knows that they are going to be battling in the finals, to which Ash responds he thought he was going to enter the Tough class again. However, Morrison says that was merely a deceptive tactic, as he wanted to throw Ash off his game, and then he asks if it worked. However, Drew can't help but laugh at this comment, drawing attention to himself by stating that all of these things will be impossible. He will be getting his 5th ribbon today, and it will be at the expense of both of these clowns. This gets Morrison agitated, as he tells Drew that he isn't half the trainer that he and Ash are, but the green hair boy simply replies that's a low bar to get over, before flicking his hair as his time to register has arrived at the counter. This leaves Morrison to stew on the situation while Ash just remains quiet, awaiting his turn. As Drew finishes it up, he thanks the two for making his final ribbon easy before walking to the Smart Hall of the contest, as Morrison yells that he's going to show Drew just how wrong he is. Now we follow up with May, as she is in the midst of entering the Tough class, but she won't be able to do this peacefully, as Harley has been behind her the whole time, making snide remarks about May's inability to take a win in an intense competition like this. But May simply smiles, telling Harley if that's the case, then she will take her loss with pride, as it'll be a stepping stone into the Grand Festival and one more lesson that she can learn from. Then, as the irritation builds on Harley's face, she walks away, ready for her day, feeling good about not being affected by the green-suited man's insults. This leads us into the first rounds of demonstration. All of them are going on simultaneously, so May and Ash won't be able to cheer each other on. However, both our heroes are able to make it past the prelims without any difficulty, wowing each of the judges in their respective categories. Ash uses Spoink to help secure his spot, as during his training when they arrived in town, he found that the piglet enjoys using its psychic powers to put on a show, much like Mawile, but more so to test its ability to lift things. Even without its pearl to help focus, Spoink is still very strong. We even see Harley, Drew, and Morrison make it past the openings. This brings us to the battle rounds, where the true test will begin. Now Morrison will get a chance to prove that what he was saying to Drew is true, as they're going to be the first opponents in the Smart class. Ash watches as the two engage in a contest battle, but it's very obvious that Morrison is outclassed, as the Pokemon he has chosen to go with, something that Ash has known for a long time. His Marshtomp is getting its butt handed to it, while Drew, ever calm and confident, goes with his Bug, Masquerain. The two have engaged in a demonstration of power versus tactic. Ash can see that Morrison is the same as he was when he lost to Drew, unable to see the style of his Pokemon that is best suited for them. Like it or not, Ash has to face the facts that Morrison is going to lose, which is exactly what happens, as Morrison is unable to hit Drew's Mon with any moves, losing point after point until time runs out and the round is called for Drew as the winner. Morrison doesn't understand why he lost. His Pokemon is strong and was able to demonstrate the power of a champion, but Drew goes on to criticize the redhead the same way he did Ash, leaving the boy a speechless mess before exiting the field. Ash just looks, knowing full well that Drew has a point, even though the way he went about it was a little bit cruel. But our hero can't worry about that now, as he must focus on the task at hand, making it through his next opponent. Turning to Mawile, Ash asks if it's ready. They're going to need all the focus they can muster, as their first round opponent is going to be Timmy and his Dusclops. The boy has been allowed to travel to contests after his mother had a change of heart. Since then, he has earned 3 ribbons and is on track to earn his 4th one for the Grand Festival. As they both enter the battle area and take their positions, the signal is given to begin, as Drew watches on in curiosity to see if Ash has been able to change his understanding of contests. However, the boy is going to be surprised by Ash and his Mawile, as they are able to outwit and maneuver Timmy and Dusclops with their new Sand Whip technique to get them to the next round. As Drew watches watches Ash finish his first round, the wheels in his head begin to turn about what he had just witnessed. With both moving on to the second battle round, they are able to take out their opponents quickly and efficiently, putting them into the finals. While all this is happening, Morrison was watching from the stands, realizing just how much of a gap there is between him and the two finalists. As Ash and Drew give their first commands, we shift our sights over to May as she has made her way to the finals of the Tough contest. Her opponent is none other than Harley, as his frustrations with May and what he sees is a total lack of respect on her part has been his sole motivation to get here so he can humiliate her in front of everyone. But as the battle with Harley and his Grumpig begins, May is calm, cool, and collected. Her and Combuskin are ready for anything that Harley can throw at them. This outlook serves her well, as Harley is unable to get past her demeanor and begins to get flustered when May unveils her new counter strategy in the form of something she calls Counter Shield. Combuskin is able to use its Fire Spin to block a barrage of Shadow Balls. It then strikes them all down before slamming into the Psychic type, causing a burn to both it and Harley's points. This causes a major blow for him, and he ultimately isn't able to recover in time as the round is called, and May has barely lost any points to Harley's nearly depleted bar. May celebrates with her starter as she is presented with her third ribbon. She simply smiles, confident in the momentum that she has created, heading into the next day's round. This leads us to the night of the first day. May is overjoyed with her win, while Ash, even though he did his best, ended up losing to Drew again. However, Ash isn't upset, not like last time. Instead, Drew shook his hand, telling our hero while Ash isn't a coordinator, he has shown his ability to respond to the needs of his Pokemon, unlike others he's met. So the boy and Mawile are just sitting under the stars outside of the center. Tomorrow, Ash says, we will win. Mawile lets out an excited squeal as it is ready for the next contest. With a good night's rest, we find our heroes back at the contest hall as things are in full swing. This time, May finds herself blazing through the cool class easily, finding her way to the finals. However, she is going to be met with a challenge that she wasn't expecting, a man by the name of Robert. He and his Pokemon known as Milotic have been making waves across the super contests over the last 2 days. He was able to win the beauty contest with ease. Now May and Viper look on as the gaze of this confident adversary looks back without a blink to his eyes. Now we shift over to Ash as he has found himself in the finals of his round in the beauty contest. He and Mawile have wowed the judges with their skills. However, their final round opponent is none other than the battling beauty of Grace and her Exploud. The two have used the sound-based moves to blow through the competition and secure their spot in the finals. So, with the command to begin, her and Ash leave nothing behind as both steel and normal clash to establish dominance. However, it becomes apparent that Mawile is outclassed when it comes to power, but that won't stop it or Ash from making their move as he tells the steel type to use its Sand Whip, allowing them to strike from a distance and get some damage on the board. But this is only a temporary solution to their problem, as Grace shifts to their sound-based strategy, making any sand attacks useless. Realizing they needed to get close, Ash orders Mawile to use its Bite attack, only for it to be met with a stomp from Exploud's massive foot. The two meet with Mawile trying to overpower it, but the steel type just doesn't have the strength to take the lead. Or does it? Ash tells it not to give up. They are so close. Just push a little harder. But Grace tells him it's no use. The timers are almost out, and they are behind on points. However, Ash won't listen to this, and neither will Mawile. Suddenly, its teeth on its second mouth begin to glow in a dark aura as they dig in deeper to the leg of Exploud. Then, without warning or command, it suddenly lifts the normal type up, giving them a brief opening as Ash uses it to his advantage, calling for a Sand Whip. At this angle, Grace and her Mon are unable to counter, as it is pelted with sand from behind before being slammed into the contest wall. This results in a total knockout, giving Ash the win. He and Mawile stand a bit stunned. They can't believe they won, until they are declared officially and presented the ribbon, bringing Ash's to 2. This allows us to bring the liliycove Super Contest to a close, with us following up with our heroes at the Pokemon Center. While Ash was victorious, May was less than so, as she lost decisively against Robert. It wasn't even a contest, but May isn't discouraged. She knows that this was just another obstacle for her to overcome as she looks at her 3 ribbons. However, this leaves Brock and Max. Their day has been an eventful one. Torkoal was under close watch by the staff and Nurse Joy. It's finally showing the negative negative effects, and they were not a pleasant one, as it could do nothing but cry in pain. Brock could do nothing but watch, as he knows it's what he did to his fire type that caused the situation. Luckily, Nurse Joy was able to help flush the system of the turtle by raising its internal temperature to a height that could burn off any virus that it may have had. This allowed Torkoal to slowly recover over the course of the night. While the fire type is up and moving around the next morning, Brock vows to abandon his research on the master block as he throws it in the trash. But as the breeder walks away, Max looks at it, wondering what he could do to help. Now we shift things to a day later. With Torkoal being given the clear to leave, our heroes decide it's time to move on as they board a boat heading for the site of Ash's next gym badge. However, before leaving the center, Ash made one change as he sent Mawile back to Professor Oak for Feebas. Since they are going to be out on the open ocean, he figured it would at least be the best time for him to have a water type with him. With that settled, we find our heroes island hopping across the seas of East Hoenn. This has been a great change of pace for them, as because they have no choice but to wait until the next boat arrives for their destination. Because of this, everyone does their best to relax and enjoy themselves. That is, everyone except for Brock. The breeder has been worried about Torkoal and what happened, the whole time wondering what went wrong in the master block. Everything seemed perfect. This thought has Brock's mind obsessed as he feels that there has to be something missing. But this will have to wait, as the group has finally arrived at the first stop on their trip to Moss Deep City, a small island called Mussel Island. While there is a human activity here, the truth is, aside from a small settlement, there aren't really any signs of people. The island seems abandoned, as our heroes have to wait a few days for the boat to arrive so they can move on to Moss Deep. So with nothing else to do, the group explores the surrounding area. While it seems there is no one at first, they eventually find a group of people that are training, but it's not normal training. They are training themselves and Pokemon. At first, Ash thinks that it may be a fighting type gym with the intensity of this training, but when they meet a trainer called Rocky, the owner of the gym, they find out that it is a gym meant for humans to train so they can be stronger. They just use Pokemon to help them get to that level. He then asks if they have come to join his place of fitness. At first, the group declines as they are only passing through, but when Max points out that they have a few days to pass until the next boat, they decide to take part. After all, a little bit of more training won't hurt before Ash's next gym challenge. So, everyone sends out their Pokemon to get involved. What follows is a very productive day of training with all of the Pokemon benefiting from the training that they are going through. Well, everyone except for Grovyle. In terms of productivity and ability, it is starting to file behind the rest of Ash's Pokemon. And this doesn't go unnoticed by Ash or Rocky. Things come to a head on day 2 when Ash and Rocky are talking. The boy finds out that Rocky doesn't leave the island because he hasn't lost a battle to anyone that has stopped here from the mainland. So the way he sees it, he will only get stronger by training here. However, Ash sees this as a challenge, as does Grovyle, showing so when the wood gecko steps forward to challenge the trainer, but Rocky declines the request, telling Ash his grass type is nothing special. It's showing no potential in the day that they have been here. However, Ash's other Pokemon, specifically Pikachu and Vigoroth, those two have piqued the interest of Rocky, and he would love to challenge those two. This revelation shatters Grovyle as a look of disappointment crosses its face. Ash can see this, but the only words of comfort he can offer it is that they will train later, after the battle. While Ash is trying to help, the truth is this statement only serves in further damaging the grass type's pride, as it is forced to watch Pikachu and Vigoroth not only get to battle Rocky and his Pokemon, but overcome the trainer and his Ice Ball strategy. Though the battle was tough, the two were able to hand Rocky his first defeat in the type of intense battle that Grovyle would have loved to take part in, but its inability to do anything, even charge a Fury Cutter, cost it. It's been unable to even tap into its overgrowth. The grass type is beginning to realize that it's losing itself and can't figure out why. But this is gonna have to wait, as the adventures on Mussel Island come to an end, with Rocky telling Ash that he is going to be heading out to challenge other gyms in Hoenn. Ash convinced him that there are strong trainers, and he will only grow if he trains and travels. With a shake of the hands, Ash says he hopes that he will battle him in the Hoenn League. Rocky smiles, telling the boy that they will. As the ship sets sail, May tells Ash that he needs to do something about Grovyle. Something is seriously wrong with it. Ash acknowledges this, stating that he's been thinking about that ever since the day before, but the truth is, it doesn't want help, so he can't do anything until it's ready. So he will just have to continue showing it that they can grow together and wait for it to come around as he holds the grass starter's ball in his hand. With Muscle Island now out of the way, it's only 2 days until Ash and his friends find themselves in the site of his next badge, the city of Moss Deep. The first stop is going to be the Pokemon Center. As they have arrived late in the day, our heroes decide it's best to get a good night's sleep before Ash tries to take on the gym. But this doesn't mean that it will be a boring night. They have arrived on a very special day, as there is supposed to be a meteor shower that lights up the skies above Moss Deep. It just so happens to be an unusually clear night on the island. There is also the fact that the Moss Deep Space Center is hosting a viewing party, using their main facilities to offer a look at things using their orbital satellites. Having found all this out an hour before it is supposed to happen, our heroes rush to get their Pokemon checked out before sprinting off in the direction of the center, as the sun falls behind the horizon. Luckily, they were able to make it just in the nick of time. The celebration has just started, as our heroes are able to get a spot right in front of the big screens. The group watches as the meteors begin to fall and burn up in the atmosphere. The sight is spectacular, magical even. However, this is overshadowed when 2 Pokemon begin to levitate and glow in a psychic aura. This captures everyone's attention. Then a voice comes over the intercom as a man introduces himself as the director of the Space Center, and with the help of his children, the leaders of the Moss Deep Gym, Tate and Liza, they are going to be in for a rare treat. Their partner Pokemon are going to use their psychic powers to allow us to see things as if we were there. Suddenly, the room changes as if everyone was floating in space above the planet. Then, right before them, the meteors begin to enter the atmosphere and burn up as they fall to the planet. The magic of this show is something that captures the imagination of everyone as the sight fades back to the room they were all in. Having seen these 2 are the leaders, Ash rushes them, still having the excitement pumping through his veins. This leaves the others discussing what had happened and the majesty of the situation. As Ash reaches the 2 kids that couldn't be much older than him, he introduces himself with vigor, telling the twins that he will be their next opponent. Excited at this prospect, both introduce themselves formally, telling Ash that they were growing a bit bored waiting on their next challenger, so they are both glad to take him on. They inform the boy that their battle will be a tag style setting, so Ash had better prepare himself. They are the best in all of Hoenn, and he won't get their badge so easily. Smiling, Ash replies that he wouldn't have it any other way. While they are talking, the father of the twin leaders is summoned away to a private phone call. It's urgent, he is told, so he takes it in his office. Turning on his communication screen, he is greeted by a colleague of his, someone known as Dr. Lund. He has been partnering with the director for the events of the meteor shower, but Dr. Lund has some bad news. Come to find out, the shower was part of a larger asteroid that is headed in a path with Earth. While it seems that it will pass by rather close, there are things that Dr. Lund has noticed about it. The giant space rock seems like it has moved its course just slightly based upon their new projections. The director asks if it's even possible that they were off on their calculations to begin with, but Lund stated that nothing else about it has changed from the size, speed, or density, so there's no way that they misjudged its course. It's very unlikely that they were off, but not impossible. Well, the only thing that we can do is monitor it, the director says. Please inform me of any other changes. The communication then ends as the director looks out his window to his children talking with Ash. He hopes that the calcs are wrong, or everything that they know may come to an end. The next morning, Ash finds himself in the Moss Deep Gym that carries the theme of deep space with the planets of the solar system dotting the roof. The twins explain that the gym is meant to simulate deep space, so Ash had better be careful as there are some tricks that he and his Pokemon could get caught in. Looking up, the boy knows instantly who he will be going with, as the twins have chosen their aces, Lunatone and Solrock. Looking at his starter, Ash tells Pikachu that it will be his first choice. As for his second one, Vibrava, I choose you! The dragon emerges from its ball, vibrating its wings fast enough to create a sonic boom. This piques the interest of the twins as they tell Ash they are ready when he is. So, the gym official gives the signal to start this tag-style battle. While in the stands, only May sits to support Ash, as Brock and Max have chosen to stay back at the Pokemon Center to make sure Torkoal has made it through all of the issues it's been having. Ash makes the first move, calling for an Iron Tail and a Bite, which both land as the leaders call in tandem for a Calm Mind for their floating rocks. While Ash was able to cause damage to both opponents, the fact is they are setting in motion the snowball that will be harder for him to counter, as with the new stat increase, they both go on the attack, ordering a Flamethrower and an Ice Beam. Ash immediately orders a dodge, with a quick attack from Pikachu and Vibrava to fly away. While the mouse is able to outpace the fire, Vibrava finds out firsthand how the gym's sky works, as it is pulled into one of the levitating planet's gravity, allowing Lunatone to land its Ice Beam for super effective damage. The only thing that saves the dragon from a total knockout is the fact that it was pulled out of the beam before the ice could fully encapsulate it. Vibrava crashes into the ground with Ash calling to it, thinking that it may have been knocked out. However, it is just barely able to stand back up. If it takes another hit, then Ash will be battling with just Pikachu. This fear is multiplied as the twins call for another Calm Mind for both of their Pokemon, turning them into the things that nightmares are made of. Ash tells Pikachu that it will have to be the defense in this battle, while Vibrava will be the offense. It's the only way that they have a chance to win, so Pikachu mounts the back of the dragon as it takes back to the sky. The two gym leaders tell Ash it's a shame. His Pokemon seem like they don't really know how to work together, so they will have to end this quickly with their next attack. But Ash simply smiles as he orders Pikachu to charge an Electro Volley. The twins are confused about this, as a ball of electricity surrounds the two, blocking the fire and ice attacks that had been fired in their direction. But this isn't all. As the sparks fade, a surge of Dragonic energy bursts from the epicenter, striking both the rock types, sending them into the gym floor. Both Lisa and Tate fail to understand, but Ash is happy to explain. His Pokemon train together, developing moves for contests, so they both understand each other and how to work around their specialty moves. You won't beat them that easily. Smiling, both leaders are happy by this revelation, as they tell their aces to give chase. With Pikachu on top of Vibrava, it will be slow, so they should be able to box it in. This leads into a pursuit into the planets above the battlefield, as the twins' two Pokemon are able to navigate the gravitational pull of each miniature planet with ease, while Ash's two Mons struggle to keep airborne. This results in them coming to a dead end, as Lunatone and Solrock are able to block off any escape. Realizing they are going to be ended by the oncoming Ice Beam and Flamethrower, Ash uses a bold strategy, telling Vibrava to stop flying. This causes the mouse and dragon to be pulled in by the gravity as the two attacks collide. While they avoided that damage, the truth is they have another problem, as they are now set to smack into the surface of one of the planets. But this is where Ash shows his adaptability in situations like this, ordering Vibrava to use a dig. This allows it and Pikachu to burrow beneath the surface, only for Ash to give his second command, a Thunder. This results in the planet to explode, setting shrapnel everywhere that strikes both Solrock and Lunatone. But it's not only the rocks they have to deal with, as they also have to worry about the Iron Tail that Pikachu uses when Vibrava launches the mouse from its back with its wings like a springboard that gives the steel move the extra power needed to throw Lunatone's gravity off as it slams into the ground below. This isn't enough to end the rock, but its equilibrium is off and it can't levitate more than a few feet off the ground. This creates an opening that Ash is looking for, as he orders the mouse in to take Lunatone down while Vibrava engages with Solrock. This split is something that Tate and Liza aren't used to. As twins, their battle style is built on being able to provide support to each other, but they are so focused on each other's Pokemon, Ash is able to confuse them with speed, as Pikachu uses an Iron Tail quick attack combo aimed for Lunatone. Wanting to defend his sister, Tate orders Solrock to take the attack while a Flamethrower is sent in the direction of the mouse. This is exactly what Ash wanted, as he tells Vibrava to use Dig. The twins think that the boy has made a big mistake, as the attack won't be able to affect either of their Pokemon due to their abilities. However, while they are one step ahead, Ash is 3, as he orders Vibrava to use a Dragon Burst from beneath the ground. This allows Pikachu to be shielded from the Flamethrower by a burst of sand and Dragonic energy, as it cracks Solrock with the Iron Tail. This is able to knock out the Rock type, but it comes at a cost, as Solrock is driven into the ground. Lunatone was behind it, charging an Ice Beam that connects with Pikachu, sending it into one of the planets above, knocking the mouse out. However, this leaves a slight opening for Vibrava to strike as it emerges from the ground with a bite attack on Lunatone. The rock is unable to defend as the dragon latches onto it. Lisa tells Lunatone to use its trump card in Hypnosis, but Ash isn't going to let it take effect, as he orders orders Vibrava to pull it under the battlefield with a dig. This is going to block Lunatone's line of sight to the dragon, canceling the attack. Tate urges his sister to get Lunatone out of the ground. It is a sitting Psyduck, so the girl orders a Psychic in an attempt to free itself. However, this battle is already over, as Ash calls for a Dragon Burst that causes the battlefield to shift slightly with an explosion of green and blue energy. Then, a moment of silence befalls the gym, before Vibrava surfaces with a Lunatone that has spirals in its eyes. Both Tate and Liza sigh as they recall their Pokemon. They thought that they had won this battle, but Ash and his Pokemon, their teamwork is something that only someone that has worked toward could have. The twins then approach Ash to present him with the Mind Badge. They tell Ash that if he continues to battle like this, then the Hoenn Championship will definitely be something that the world would want to see. Smiling, Ash takes the badge, thanking the two gym leaders while celebrating with Pikachu and Vibrava. Only 3 left. We are so close, he says. The two Pokemon give a cheer, showing their excitement. Now, with Ash's gym battle out of the way, we find ourselves in the ocean south of Moss Deep. Here, we find some of the Team Aqua grunts and the pirate known as Phantom. They have been digging all over the island for the last couple of days. While this has been testing the patience of the group, they have found what they are looking for, another chunk of the red orb. But that's not the main reason that they are here on the island, as Phantom has found the entrance to a temple that was long since buried on the island. Well, my prince, it's been centuries, but I think that it's time for you to awaken, the pirate says, as he looks at a door that holds a seal to a people long lost. And that is where we are going to leave things for now. So tell me, how did you feel about this part? Did you enjoy the contest and the battles that May and Ash had? What were the issues that Torkoal was having? And is it going to be okay? Will Brock recover from the guilt he feels for giving the turtle the Pokeblock? Did you enjoy Ash's gym battle and his victory over Tate and Liza? And what about Phantom? What's the importance of this prince he speaks of? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And that's all we had for today's video. I really appreciate you guys stopping by to watch all the way to the end, and I just wanted to say thank you for that. If you guys really enjoy my content, consider following me on some of my other platforms like Discord, where you can get to know other people who are interested in what ifs, or on Twitter, where I post sometimes behind the scenes updates. Or if you want to help the channel grow a little bit extra, why don't you consider donating like the people right here have, as whatever you could offer could help us get to a larger audience by helping us get new videos done, or some of the projects that we've been more custom art is getting kind of expensive. So we want to make sure that we have the funds to do that. But with all that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed everything, and I will see you in the next video.